Welcome back to the Cruise Dynasty Podcast. Back at it again. I'm with the crew, Craftman, C Swizzy. What's going on, fellas?
Same old thing, different day. Just working.
Working hard and then podcasting. That's just what we do. We just gonna get down to business real quick. Like NFL free agency is here. We're going to try to hit on some of the moves at some of these positions. I know me and the Craft Man broke down some news last week as of March 10th. Today is almost a week later. A lot of free agents, a lot of people signing in different places. But before then, add the podcast and add everything else. YouTube, Discord, whatever. You know. Craft Man, am I missing anything?
Nope, I don't think so. You know Chris is the man to ask right here, though, about all that social media stuff.
Dude, man, I'm so fucked up, I don't even remember what he said, if I'm be honest.
Well, shoot, man, that just means we should just move on to the good shit. And what we gonna start off with? First one I got at the top of my list, because I was just writing shit down, we were talking it. David Montgomery signs with the Detroit Lions. Craftman, you got the details on that deal right there?
Yep, he signed a. Let's see what we got here. Let me get my running backs. 3-year, $18 million with $11 million guaranteed. That's the second highest of the running backs that got of the free agents that went over. But as far as fantasy goes, Chris? What do you think? What do you think this means for Montgomery? You like it better, worse?
I mean, I like it. I mean, they've shown that with a runner like Montgomery, he's kind of like Jamal Williams. He's a physical runner. I think I would be more worried about what this does to DeAndre Swift.
He's done.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in that same little boat.
Man,
He's
look,
done.
at first I was in the boat. When I was like, damn, David Montgomery signed, and then I was like, him, Jamal Williams. But Jamal Williams just signed with the Saints, 3-year deal. I think I'm not going to all the way give up on Swift. I think Swift can still be the man. And, David Montgomery was out there losing playtime to Khalil Herbert at times. And DeAndre Swift's way better than Khalil Herbert. So I'm thinking, I ain't going to all the way give up on Swift. I'm not ready to do that yet, but it is crazy that they brought in another starting running back. So,
I mean, I don't think it's crazy. I think that's just the way they want to use DeAndre Swift. I mean, he's definitely not capable of carrying the load. They've kind of shown that. I mean, he's shown that, not being on the field. So, I mean, I think Swift's value it's kind of weird, but I felt like his value was so high when Detroit sucked because he was just fourth quarter time. He gets 6 receptions in the fourth quarter, just dump down, trash, garbage time catches. But now, Lions are a good team. He doesn't get the goal line work. He might get some third down work, and just the target volume ain't there no more. So if you're only getting 8 carries a game, a couple targets, and no goal line work, I mean, what's the ceiling? I mean, what do you think? Because I'm probably the lowest out of all of us on Swift. Because I'm pretty much done.
Yeah, I don't know, man. David Montgomery, I've never really been impressed with Montgomery like that. He was always more of like a volume guy in Chicago. Like, you just knew he was going to get a lot of carries. Never really did anything too special. I don't know, though, but you're right. It does seem like Detroit acts like that DeAndre Swift can't handle the load. To me, I don't know. Have they ever tried to give it to him the whole time?
Yes. And he's gotten hurt every time. I mean, he's talented. Don't get me wrong. It's not against DeAndre Swift, the player. It's just the coaching staff obviously doesn't want to, they're not going to turn him into Travis Etienne was last year. Like, ETN's done got more work than DeAndre Swift in his 1 year playing.
So
they're not going to use him like that.
So what are we doing with David Montgomery? So was this a win for David Montgomery? Would we say?
I mean,
Win, same type of situation.
Scoring,
yeah.
Definitely
If the
more
Lions end
scoring.
up on the 1 yard line again, as many times as they did, I feel like if you got David Montgomery, you're just going to be feasting.
Yeah, scoring opportunity definitely goes up. You would think.
If y'all had to predict how many touchdowns Montgomery will have this year, I mean, it's got to be close to 10 or more.
Right. So what are we doing with DeAndre? What are we doing with Swift?
In Dynasty, that's the question. Like, Chris, what's his value in Dynasty, like pick wise? Like, would you trade if you had Swift? Would you trade him for, any kind of first round pick, like even the last pick of the first round, or is he more valuable than that?
In a 10-man, probably, but like in a 12-man, I don't think so. But
the value's
I
like
don't know,
201,
Matt.
probably.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think there's no way now that this has happened that Matt gets what he got for DeAndre Swift at all. Like, I just don't even think that is fathomable at this point for DeAndre Swift.
His
Because you
value
got what
high.
the 107 and the Pacheco for DeAndre Swift.
Right. Basically, if you got Swift now, you got to hold.
Yeah.
Because you ain't about to get nothing for him. If I could get a first for Swift, though, I mean, honestly, I would pay a late first for Swift. I would still buy. Here's where DeAndre Swift is really his best ball value to me is like that's what he is. He's just a real good best ball play. His stock will drop. You go pick him in whatever round he's going in. Maybe it'll win you some money, but yeah,
he's not going to be useless. It's not like we're talking about just like like Madison's been over the last couple of years, where only useful if somebody gets hurt. I mean, Swift will still have his games. It's just going to be so unpredictable because we know he's not getting the goal line work.
Right.
He's going to have to break off a big play.
Yeah. Well, let's just move on to Jamal Williams, who just left Detroit, went to the Saints, signed a 3-year deal. He was the one getting all the goal line work. That signing ain't nothing special to me. I'm just bringing him up just because he left Detroit. I think it kind of clears it out a little bit for Swift. But Jamal Williams, I mean, with the Saints, who's the other running backs they even got down there? Kamara's probably going to be suspended, most likely.
Yeah,
I think do they have any Benjamin still?
I thought he was with the Texans last, or did he go again?
I think
he got re-signed by the Saints.
Ain't no Benjamin. I don't
know.
know.
He's kind of a nothing.
Jamal Williams would definitely be the guy, but I think Williams is more important in redraft come next year. I mean, you got the suspension coming for Kamara. I mean, maybe 4 games, 6 games. If you can get 4 games of Jamal Williams being the main running back for the Saints, I mean, I would. He probably is going to have a good value in redraft, and I imagine he'll still get a lot of goal line work when Kamara does come back. So the Saints didn't ever really want Kamara. They've kind of shown over and over again they don't want him to be the in between the tackles guy if they can avoid it. I mean, they were running Mark Ingram out there for the second time, not when Mark Ingram was good, but the old Mark Ingram. So,
better, worse? I mean, I think last year was Jamal Williams. That was the time to just go ahead and sell him. He's not about to do anything there. I mean, he was like running back 11 or something crazy last year, like a top 12 running back. That ain't happening no more. So that right there last year was the time to sell him. And even then, I sold him myself. I only got a second and a third for him. So, if you got Jamal Williams, you're probably just gonna have to hold for now. You might still get a second for him though. Somebody will go for it, and I would definitely sell him for a second rounder.
Yeah, I see a path where he's like useful, like flex value sometimes. This coming year, dynasty wise, I don't really know how to predict his dynasty value right now. I mean, a late second rounder probably.
Yeah. Yep. Shoot, man. Y'all, anything else to say about this whole little Lions, Jamal, Montgomery, Swift? We good with that one, Kraft man?
Yep, just that the Lions are going to be good next year.
Right. Agreed. Let's talk about Chris's Carolina Panthers. Just grabbed Miles Sanders.
Who
Miles
all we got
Sanders.
over there?
What? Yeah, I mean the Panthers signed a few guys, didn't they?
Yeah, we signed Miles Sanders to a 4-year deal. We got Hayden Hurst. I don't know his contract. I want to say it's 2. Then Andy Dalton at the end. After trading away all that for the number 1 pick. So I mean, I don't mind the Miles Sanders since we spread it out, But I feel like we could have got Deontay Foreman back for cheaper.
Yeah, he signed a 1-year, $3 million deal. Deontay Foreman did. And Hayden Hurst signed a 3-year, $21 million deal.
Sheesh. Well, you know
Welcome
how
to Carolina.
Yeah, Hayden Hurst. I mean, that signing over there, it is what it is with tight ends, But what you call it, Miles Sanders. This is a pretty good one to me. I think this one might be a little bit better than Philly. I know Philly had a good offense, but Miles Sanders was always out there splitting time with like Boston Scott, Kenneth Gainwell's out there getting touches and shit. So it's like. But now he's about to go to Carolina. Deontay Foreman's out. I assume Chuba Hubbard still there.
Yep.
Is this true? So
he's still in a rookie deal, I believe.
Don't have a lot of wide receivers in Carolina, so it's, they'll probably have to dump it down to the running back. Miles Sanders can catch it. I think this might be all right for Miles Sanders. Honestly, I was kind of out on him, knowing he wasn't going to go back to Philly, but Carolina. That's all right with me. What you think, Kraft man?
Oh, I was reading something. What were you saying?
About Miles Sanders. I think the situation is a little bit better. What you say?
Oh, yeah. I think we were talking about it before the episode. He's just going to have more opportunity there. Carolina, the one thing that they can do and the one thing they did really well last year was run the football and just take over games sometimes. I mean, there was some games where they shouldn't have even been in it. They were just outmanned, but their offensive line is really good. And Miles Sanders is really good running back. 6 yards per carry type guy. He's always been efficient. And he's coming off a great year last year, so it's looking pretty good for him. One thing he didn't do last year that he could do this year is catch a little bit more passes too. So that's a little more upside in that category.
Yeah, I'm assuming that when they start off next year, you would think Andy Dalton's probably going to be the starting quarterback at the beginning.
No, don't do it. I would just start the rookie right away. Start it. Just do it. You can give up that much for the first round pick. You need to play him. There was no reason for us to trade for the first round pick. No reason.
Man, he's got to learn from Andy Dalton. Got to get some tutorage.
Got to learn how to be surprisingly mediocre like his whole career.
Well, yeah, we'll see. I mean, they will have the number 1 overall pick, so they could be starting a rookie from the jump.
Yep. But what
I guarantee you, we don't even take Young or Stroud. I bet they take Levis or Richardson. I'll put money on it.
I could see Richardson, but if they took Levis, I would be going crazy if I was a Panthers fan.
I think it's gonna be Stroud.
Yep, same. I agree. All right, so basically, if you have Miles Sanders, you might as well hold. That's how I see it. I mean, you could sell high right now, though. But I don't know. I don't know if perception is really like how we're thinking. Do other people think this is a better situation? Other people might not think that leaving Philly, going to Carolina.
I mean, they're a lot worse of a team. I mean, he was splitting a little work in Philly and definitely goal line work with Jalen Hurts, but they also had a lot more scoring opportunities than the Panthers are going to have this year too. So,
I guess real quick, might as well. We brought it up just a few minutes ago, but Deontay Foreman signed with Chicago. He just left Carolina. That's why I'm bringing him up right now. What is it? Just like a 1-year deal?
1 year, $3 million.
What you think? What does this do with that backfield? Because Khalil Herbert, I think some of us were thinking he was going to be the starter. I at first kind of thinking they were going to bring somebody in, but didn't they bring somebody else in other than Deontay Foreman? Who was it?
They brought Travis Homer in as well.
Travis Homer.
And he's looked good when he gets to play. I mean, he has some flashes of, he gets his yardage out there.
So does Deontay Foreman and Travis Homer cut into Khalil Herbert? Probably so. So maybe, Kraft, me and you were talking about it. You were asking about selling high or whatever, and I was saying because I got Khalil Herbert. I got to share him in the Dynasty League. I was thinking about holding. But now, now I'm kind of wishing I would have sold, but
you only had like 6 hours to sell.
Right. I ain't got time to be dishing them out for Khalil Herbert like that. 6 hours, you got to give me a few days.
I figured they would bring somebody in. I mean, no, it doesn't. Just the new NFL, most teams are going to be some sort of committee. So, as good as Khalil Herbert looked, there's just not many teams out there that just stick with one guy.
Right.
So I guess the advice for anybody listening would be next time you hear a piece of news like this where you think, oh, this really opens it up for one guy, like say Dalvin Cook leaves Minnesota and Alexander Madison's there alone. You might could sell Madison on the highest you'll ever get, and they might bring somebody right in. They might draft a rookie, and they're splitting work. So just something to think about.
Got to hit that window, hit it right. All right, well, let's move on to the next one. The next one I got down is Jacoby Myers signed with Las Vegas. What's that? He's all these guys signing for $11 million. He was one of them, right, Craftman?
Yeah, 3 year, 33.
I guess the question is this situation better, worse? The Patriots offense wasn't that good, but he actually had a role that was worth playing. Jacoby Myers, putting him in your flex spots. What you think now, though? Going to Las Vegas, is it worse? Got Hunter Renfrow out there. Devontae Adams is still out there.
I think he's
Jimmy G.
I think he's useless for fantasy. Devontae Adams. I mean, we even seen Hunter Renfrow go from like wide receiver 11 to useless when Devontae Adams came over. I mean, he might get some Darren Waller targets because he's gone, but it ain't going to be. I think he was actually better with the Patriots, and that's kind of hard to stomach.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I think it's just a crowded wide receiver room. Jimmy G's up in there. I could see, how Jimmy G is. He's a game manager type deal. I could see Devontae Adams, his stock falling a little bit. But I don't know. I mean, you think Renfrow or Jacoby Myers, they might could have a bigger role this year.
I like Renfrow again. I don't like Renfrow. I would prefer Renfrow over Myers.
Yeah. Chris, you got anything to say about that one, right? Them guys.
Yeah, I mean, I like Renfrow over it just because you're getting Jimmy G over there. You're getting a little receiver slot guy. Hunter Renfrow, that would be like his preferred little dump off. Like if they're running some short routes for him, if they can't get it to Devontae Smith. I don't see why Jacoby Myers was signed. I just don't think it's a fit. I don't see why that they did this.
Just to replace Darren Waller over the middle of the field, I think, because if you do think about it, there is some upside with Renfrow. I mean, you got Josh McDaniels there, and when you think about old Patriots offense, they utilize the slot guy a lot. So Yep, there could be some upside there. And Jimmy G loves to throw the ball over the middle of the field.
Right. Agreed. So with Jacoby Myers headed out, Juju Smith-Schuster just won a Super Bowl. He's headed to New England, which to me is I would rather have Jacoby. But so I don't know. I think old Bill up there is off his rocker. The dude's lost his marbles. That dude, man. Just the signings he's done. What was that? Didn't he do another? Oh, James Robinson. I mean, jeez, Bill.
That's a backup now. I don't think he's cutting into Ramondre at all. If we want to talk about that for a minute. I mean, just to give him a breather every now and again, but James Robinson is no talent wise, not even close.
Leave it to Bill Belichick to go sign another running back. I bet they draft one too. They probably draft one or two of them.
Can you believe it? I mean,
Man.
Pierre Strong.
Yeah, I can believe it. He does it every year.
About Pierre Strong though? Like nothing. Like he just wasn't good or what?
Nah, I think he'll get some work, man. Got to. I think, but Kraft, man, I think it's hilarious that you brought up that. What was it you just said about Ramondre? Oh, and James Robinson cutting in too, because when that news came out, Akil had texted everybody. And Chris, I don't know if you saw that message. He was talking about James Robinson to New England. Bye bye. Talking about bye bye Ramondre. Man, I was dead when he said that shit. That shit's hilarious, man.
Did he use his eyeballs to watch football last year and see what Ramondre was doing out there?
Man.
James Robinson couldn't even get on the field when it was Michael Carter ahead of him. And Zonovan Knight.
Yeah. Heck, I'll be honest. Ramondre Stevenson might have went up my dynasty rankings a little bit more. I'm going to check the website. Might be moved on up a little bit more. I was a little skeptical, but man, Bill, he ain't going to go get a running back, man. Can't possibly go get a running back this draft. If he did that, I would be just stunned. But anyways, Juju to New England. What's this do for Juju? I mean, definitely in a worse situation.
Yeah,
I think he's just gonna get bitched out. Bill Belichick gonna watch getting on him doing TikToks, and I don't think Bill's gonna deal with that shit.
Juju gets on my nerves with that shit. Talking all that junk. He ain't do shit. Riding Patrick Mahomes' coattail all the way to the Super Bowl.
Right. Won him a Super Bowl. Now got him a nice little check, and this is the end of Juju. So, I mean, heck, I guess what are we doing with Juju? We selling, holding? I mean, I guess you just gotta hold. You can't. I mean, you can sell them and get what you can get for,
the transactions the Patriots making by just getting rid of Jacoby and then bringing in Juju. I mean, the one player that I think is kind of a sleeper on this team, and it's Tyquan Thornton, really. I mean, they don't really have Devontae Parker there, Kendrick Bourne. It doesn't seem like in this free agent market there's not many other options they could choose from, or if they're going to go out and get another one. So, he might be somebody in Dynasty that I would try to go get for the low.
Buy low.
Hello. What do y'all think about that? What do you think, Chris?
I'm with you.
I just feel like somebody will probably buy him because he's obviously going to be the number one receiver for New England.
They'll probably go get somebody in the draft.
Yeah, I could see them doing that as well. But I feel like that if you wanted to sell him, you probably should have sold him off of the Patrick Mahomes hype during the season of last year. Now you might be stuck.
Who, Juju?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Tyquan Thornton, you might, he had a little 2-game spurt, or maybe 1 game where he had 2 touchdowns, something like that.
He looked fine to me.
Yep. Man, let's just move on to another one. What we got? Baker Mayfield headed on down to Tampa Bay. I mean, this is what Tampa Bay was looking for. They were going to go out there and get them a veteran. So
Just for competition.
You think they'll go get one in the draft or competition with Kyle Trask?
Competition for Trask.
Well,
I'm sure they'll draft a quarterback, but it ain't going to be none of the ones that anybody's talking about. It's going to be a project.
Good old Hendon Hooker or something.
Yeah, maybe something like that. I like Hendon Hooker, but
yep, same. Well, what does this do with these Buccaneers guys? To me, if Baker Mayfield, I could see Chris Godwin just being the same thing, the same PPR guy, going out there getting you about 5 or 6 grabs. You think that's done with? I think Mike Evans takes a hit, but he kind of took a hit last year.
I like Godwin better than Evans. I don't think Godwin. That whole offense is going to take a hit. I mean, Brady wasn't great last year, but he was dump off king, and he loved throwing it to Godwin. Like, the targets were there for Godwin. And I think Mike Evans takes the biggest hit, like you said. Godwin's still okay, but not as good as he was.
Right. What could you get for Godwin? If you're selling Godwin, what can you get? Can you get a first for him?
I'd have to get a first. I'm not selling Godwin for nothing less than a first.
Sure.
What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, if you got him, I wouldn't take anything less than a first for him. But I don't think I would go and pay a first for him.
Yeah, I was about to say, I might pay a late first, maybe.
Got a hold.
Yep. Mike Evans, we're just going to assume you just got to hold on to Mike Evans to the day he rots away.
Yeah.
So, because he was bad last year, except for whatever the week that was, that championship week.
Last week, yeah.
So
against Carolina.
3 touchdowns.
Like 50 points.
Yeah, like what, 3 touchdowns, like 200 yards or something? One game.
What about Baker for Superflex purposes? You know, obviously he would be your second guy, but
he might not
I don't know, man.
You would think he'd beat out Kyle Trask, but I mean the Buccaneers ain't really. They're not going into the season with either one of them saying, "Oh, we're competing for Super Bowl this year."
Yeah, I don't know. They might be saying that
they could win the division.
Baker Mayfield. Yeah, I don't know. That to me, like getting Baker Mayfield makes you think they're still in win now mode. I guess.
Yeah. Seems kind of like just a bridge quarterback kind of deal. Just playing for a year. They only signed him for 1 year, like $8 million or something like that. So they can just move on from him pretty easily.
All right, I got a smaller one. Samaje P. Rhymes signed with Denver. Javonte Williams got that J.K. Dobbins ACL injury going on. What did we say, Kraft man? At the beginning of the year, this couldn't have a little bit of value. Samaje P. Ryan might be a guy you just hope he does good at the beginning, and then for dynasty purposes, probably redraft purposes too, sell him at a certain point, maybe. If you can. What you say, Kraft?
Yeah, I'll just say just one thing about the Broncos with Sean Payton. When it comes down to it this year, especially redraft, I'm gonna be all in on this backfield. Whoever it may be at the time, because Sean Payton runs the hell out of the football. And he's always, ever since he's been in New Orleans, I mean, even when, it was Ingram and Kamara, they always establish a run. So they're going to be a better offense. I don't know if they're going to be great, but if P-Ron's going to be the main guy for a little while, I'll be happy with him. For the first half of the year, probably, till Williams comes back.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah, I'm kind of like figuring out like what the Bengals just they kind of have to get Mixon at this point, because I mean I know Mixon was on the talks about getting released.
No, they're gonna get Bijan, man.
Yeah, well,
they go get somebody. I could definitely see it. I've seen plenty of mocks. I think they will go get somebody in the draft though.
They've gotten rid of a lot of defensive players. I've noticed both of their safeties, Jesse Bates and the other guy, I forget his name, but both of their starting safeties are gone too. So they got a couple holes to fill still.
All right, Alexander Madison re-signed with the Vikings. Just I guess what's the word on Dalvin Cook? That's just my main question to that kind of news is I've been hearing he's probably gone, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything recently. Have you, Craftman?
Nah, I just don't think the market is that high for a contract like Dalvin Cook. I mean, somebody could take a risk on him, but that could be. I don't know. I just can't think of any team really off the top of my head that would
Buffalo.
do that. No,
it's got to be a win now type of team.
it could be. Yeah, maybe. Or I mean, even the Broncos, even with Pete Ryan there, something like that. I don't know.
I guess
I can't think of much going on.
To me, Alexander Madison re-signing makes me think that Dalvin Cook is on his way out. But I don't know. We'll see how it plays out this year,
Yeah.
Vikings are going for a Super Bowl.
But what do you think about Cook though, as far as dynasty goes? I mean, I know we're all wanting to sell these older guys. That's just kind of how we do things with the Cooks, the Ecklers, and all them. But I mean, do you feel pretty comfortable that his value will remain about the same as it has, like just this upcoming year? Will you feel pretty good about it, or think his value goes down like compared to last year?
I think it goes down. I thought it went down last year. I know his numbers look good at the end of the year, but it seemed like Dalvin Cook had stretches where he wasn't playing that good. It let you down, but I don't know. Dalvin Cook not being with the Vikings, to me, always, all these players, even when Miles Sanders was leaving Philly, I was out on that. I'm like, I don't want these guys. They're leaving. But I don't know. Because, if Dalvin Cook did go to somewhere like Buffalo, I mean, Buffalo's running backs aren't exactly going off every week. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know.
Yeah.
His value's dropping, in my opinion. And you probably should have sold him if you were going to sell him. If you sell these running backs while they're really hot, you can get a haul for them. But I wouldn't be paying big time draft capital for Dalvin Cook right now.
No. Yeah. I'm the same. I'd like to sell all these guys. All these guys around that same age, even Eckler.
Him
I don't
requesting a
think
trade.
he's gone, man. Like I said, the market just ain't there. Nobody's gonna pay a running back that much. But the Chargers without Eckler would be weird. They would take a massive hit. Like I think Eckler does a lot of things that like even Dalvin Cook doesn't do. The Chargers would be dumb to let him go.
It'd have to be another win now team. The team that's winning now to go get him.
Chargers are though. I mean, they don't even they done tried Joshua Kelly and Isaiah Spiller. I mean, these guys they're nowhere close to Eckler. But I mean, if Cook leaves, Madison can come in, and it's not that big of a drop. So.
Well, shoot, crap. That's pretty much what I got on my list. What else you got out there for us?
Shit, I'll just blitz them right quick. We ain't even got to get no analysis. I think we covered the main,
the big ones.
The fantasy impact ones. But Rashad Penny, he's going to the Eagles. He could have some sort of impact. I mean, if he stays healthy, there's a path I can see. But y'all got anything y'all want to say about that one?
Chris, you got anything to say about it? Or are we good?
I just gotta stay healthy.
Yep. I mean, he could
be Miles Sanders? Could he be as valuable as Miles Sanders if he's healthy?
I don't know if the Eagles' offensive line is going to be as good. I know they re-signed Jason Kelsey, but I also saw they lost a tackle and a guard the other day. So, I mean, and Philly likes to use all three of them. They re-signed both of them. They like to use all of them.
If you were drafting a redraft league right now, which one would you choose, Gainwell or Penny?
I mean, Penny. The upside's up
Penny,
there.
Yeah.
But Gainwell in Dynasty, though, right? For sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just the backfield I stay away from.
there'll be some value at some point. Always is. But we didn't mention Alan Lazard. He went to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Lazard went to the Jets, 4-year, $44 million. Keep an eye on either. My opinion is either Elijah Moore's coming with the Rodgers trade, or they're just going to release Corey Davis. So it's going to be he'll slot in as a number 3 guy or number 2 guy, whether you want to rank Elijah Moore ahead of him or not. But if Rodgers goes there, you know he's got value.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't mind getting him next year. And Darren Waller got traded to the Giants. Really like that. He's gonna be their main pass catcher, except for Paris Campbell, who also went to the New York Giants.
Isaiah Hodgins.
What's the guy they drafted last year?
Wandale
probably back. So looking a little bit better day after day for them, but that's about it. And Hayden Hurst, we mentioned him, but one thing when you were talking about it, I was looking up the Panthers draft picks. That's what I was reading. And they do have a second rounder, pick 39. I was just trying to figure out where the Panthers could draft a receiver, because they're gonna fucking need one at some point. Because if it stays the way it is right now, I will draft Hayden Hurst as one of my top 5 tight ends next year. I mean, shit.
Yeah.
He's gonna get used. He is definitely gonna get used.
21 mil, 3, getting paid $7 million a year. No receivers, new quarterback. Like rookies love throwing to tight ends too. So it's a value right there.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Might be some good DFS plays every now and then next year.
Yep.
All right, then. Well, shit.
Let me hit these quarterbacks.
Yeah. Hit them with it.
All right, Gardner Minshew went to the Colts, 1 year, $3.5 million. We did Baker. Sam Darnold went to San Fran, 1 year, $4.5 million.
What's his sign? What's his sign to tell you, man?
That Brock Purdy ain't healthy.
They must not be
Trey
believing in Trey Lance, I guess.
You said they do believe in Trey Lance, or don't?
Nah, don't. It don't look like it.
Or Purdy ain't healthy. Or maybe they just don't want to go into the Super Bowl and not have any quarterbacks next year. They might go out and sign another one. They're going to max, how many quarterbacks can we have on this roster? We got a 53-man roster? All right, 20 quarterbacks.
Well, look.
Hey, I mean, that was the only situation like that I've ever seen, ever. That's a horrible situation to be in.
Hey, Sam Darnold has a little bit of super flex value, though. Go deep. Hey, put him out there with that San Francisco offense. That dude might go out there and ball out with them guys. People talk about Sam Darnold coming back to California.
I seen a meme that said the 49ers have 2 number 3 overall picks that will be backing up a 7th round pick. That's gonna be nice. 2 number 3, got Trey Lance and Sam Darnold got drafted number 3 in the NFL draft. Gonna be backing up Brock Purdy.
Backing up the last pick in the NFL draft. Mr. Irrelevant.
Mr. Irrelevant.
All right. Well, I think that's about it. Jacoby Brissett went to the Commanders. Mike White to Miami. Taylor Heineke to Atlanta. We got Jimmy G.
That.
You do like that?
I like that move by Atlanta to get Heineke.
Panthers should have done it. Even though he was expensive.
He was. Yeah.
Well, let's see. Andy Dalton got 2 year, $10 million. Heineke got 2 years, $14 million.
And then Dalton got $8 million guaranteed, I think.
Yeah, and Heineke got pretty much $6 million guaranteed. So, they could have got Heineke instead, but I don't know. I don't know what Heineke. He's the backup for sure, right?
For now.
I mean,
It might not finish that way though.
Do y'all believe in Ritter at all? Like, are y'all? Did you see enough, Matt, watching the games? Does he have a good arm? I didn't see anything. I didn't watch Falcons. I didn't watch Desmond Ritter play one time, so I don't even know what the tag looks like.
I'm gonna just judge him on this year. Like you know how last year your first starts, like sometimes he did some good things. Heck, Drake London, man, he was getting a lot of targets with Ritter. So I don't know. We'll just have to see, man. We'll just see how this season goes. I hope it works out though, so we can just get the quarterback and just put the rest. Like, and let's just keep building the team.
Yep.
But I don't know.
Let me look up these tight ends, make sure we didn't miss anything, because we usually don't care about them, but sometimes we might miss something. Oh, Robert Tonyan he just left. I just remembered that. He went into Chicago, so Cole Kmet's. If you were hoping for a little Cole Kmet action in Dynasty, that kind of hurts a little bit. They're almost like the same player to me. I don't really get it. I don't really get that signing for Chicago.
Aren't most tight ends like the same player though? If you want to be honest, like once you get to a certain point on the tight end list, it's like these motherfuckers all do the same thing.
I don't know. Some of them can block really well. Some of them are more like, you got your Okonkwo's and your Kyle Pitts who are like the, Travis Kelce, like receiving guys, and then you got your Mercedes Lewis's and your Jonnu Smiths and shit that are blockers. So I don't know. I feel like these guys are the exact same though. They're just average as fuck at everything.
Yep.
Not really great at one thing. Kind of like me in life. Average, just mediocre at everything I do.
Well, shoot, what y'all think, man? Y'all want to wrap it on up?
Yep. There'll be more. There's a lot more coming, I'm sure. But I don't even. We ain't got to mention Aaron Rodgers, do we? Everybody knows what the hell's going on there.
I think me and you might have talked about him a couple weeks ago or last week.
Went down in that den and he smoked some crack. Came back out and was like, "I'm playing for the Jets."
Gotta be smoking crack if you decided you want to play for the Jets. Gotta be.
I gotta ask Chris the same thing I asked you today, though. That kind of applies to this. So, one of my leagues, Chris, I have the 102. I'm going to trade it to Noah for Jordan Love and Rachaad White. But I think that's a good deal. I'm going to end up doing it anyway. But my question to you is, and really think about it, would you trade the 102 for just Jordan Love? Would you rather have Jordan Love over Bryce Young or CJ Stroud? Like, if you had the 102, you're automatically, if you're thinking that, hey, I'm going to get Bryce Young here with the Texans, would you just rather have Jordan Love? Is that a deal that people should be thinking about making?
That's tough. I haven't even seen Jordan Love play that much, honestly, because, it seems like every time he gets out there to play, Aaron Rodgers is like, I'm feeling better, and he goes back out there. But, it's just hard for me to trade the 102 for Jordan Love.
I wouldn't do it.
You're really just trading Bryce. Like, I could see that if you don't need a quarterback in your draft, in your dynasty draft, and you're getting like Jahmyr Gibbs or something, I can understand not doing that. But you got a quarterback who's playing with the Packers, a good franchise, been sitting behind one of the greats for 3 years, has all the physical ability. That's one thing I can say that I've seen in him is his arm, very good arm talent, can move. I don't know. I would almost feel more comfortable getting a guy like that. He's still got first-round draft capital, too.
Yeah.
If you were planning on, drafting Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud going to the Texans or, the Panthers, so.
I just feel like you got to get – I don't know about just Jordan Love. You have got to get something else, I feel like, for the 102. Or Bryce Young,
It sounds kind of outlandish, but when you really get to thinking about it, it's not that far off. You think?
Yeah, I'll definitely take Bryce Young over Jordan Love. And Superflex.
I don't know. I love the way Green
play
Bay.
me.
I love the way Green Bay treats their quarterbacks, man. Sit behind a great for years.
That's
and
true.
For years, and then you leave and you go to the Jets, and then you
Yep.
leave again and you go to the Vikings.
I know. I was thinking that though. I was like,
Yep.
is it lining up where Aaron Rodgers could go to the Vikings in a couple years, man? That'd be crazy.
Dude, I'd love the first game. I'd love the first game of the year to be Packers Jets, man. That shit would be tight.
Yep. Hell yeah.
It is going to be weird seeing him in a
Yeah.
different color green. It
We'd
really
be getting
will
our
be.
ass. We'd be getting our asses kicked, too, boy. Speaking of Rodgers, man, I know we're about to get off. I'm gonna say one more thing. If Rodgers goes to the fucking Jets, Garrett Wilson to the moon, Matt, as you would say.
Yep. To the moon.
I'm a big believer in Garrett Wilson. I've done started to come up like really high on Garrett Wilson lately.
What about Elijah Moore? His stock stay the same with Lazard?
Yeah, I ain't. Yeah,
it'll get a little better than last year, just a tad.
It's got to get better than last year. He didn't do shit last year.
I think Elijah Moore is going to be part of the deal.
I kind of do too. I kind of do too.
Same. Gonna be a Packer. And then I'm gonna go buy Elijah Moore with him and Jordan Love.
He might be okay. I kind of want him to come out. I'd much rather him than Corey Davis.
Oh yeah, big time.
Sure.
Well, shoot, man, fellas. I say we just go ahead and wrap this thing on up. We hit all the all the news. So, add the podcast 5-star review. Add us on YouTube, twitching. We be twitching it and shit. So, we'll continue our dynasty run because we've been hitting these news episodes, but dynasty running backs 13 through 24 is coming up soon. So, or next. Craft man, what you got to say to the folks?
Well, nothing really. We're just gonna keep our heads down and stay busy doing these rankings and doing some mock drafts and got a lot of stuff coming out pretty soon. Getting closer and closer to draft season. It's still dead time. It's hard to get a whole lot of the motivation. I'm loving the free agency and everything, all the news, but it's kind of a little dead season right now.
For sure. Chris, you got anything to say to the millions of fans?
I mean, yeah, I'm going to be watching the free agency. There was a lot of moves made, and it's just going to keep happening. There's still a lot of people that need to end up somewhere, and shit, that could all happen tomorrow, the day after that. It's going to be a whole month of them going back and forth on this, so keep up with it, because we'll definitely be giving you the news about it.
Yep. Right. So, yep. All right, then we'll shoot, man. That about wraps it on up, man. We out.
Peace.